It's a real pleasure to introduce Dr. Mitch Cohen, who initiated this white coat ceremony at Jefferson. It's one of the first in the country several years ago. After serving as a psychiatric resident, chief resident, and junior faculty member at Johns Hopkins University, he transported his practice north to Jefferson. While focusing on pain management, as well as care of the chronically ill psychiatric patient, we are fortunate that he finds time to share his expertise in medical education, where he plays a pivotal role in each of the 4 years of your curriculum. Of his many achievements, today I will share just 2. First, he was the recipient of the Washington Medal for the National Bicentennial Youth Debates, given by the United States Treasury Department several years ago. Therefore, I caution any of you to challenge him to a debate. Second, he's the team psychiatrist for the Philadelphia Phillies. I am sure he's been very busy in light of the season that they have had this past year. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Mitch Cohen to share with you the white coat legacy.
Well, although I always look forward to coming to work, and I particularly look forward to the Fridays that are the white coat ceremony Fridays, I always worry a little bit about what Charlie's going to say. It was 18 years ago that we were the first medical school in Philadelphia to host a white coat ceremony, design one, for our first-year students. These events are now common across the region and across the nation, but ours, of course, is a highlight of summer for us. Now, we're just the supporting cast. These folks have earned the spotlight, and we are delighted they're here. The ceremony is really about the class of 2018. Now, when I was a medical student, I just caught myself in one of those always irritating when I was a fill-in-the-blank kind of statements, and you know how they go. When I was a fill-in-the-blank, it was always tougher. So anyway, when I was a medical student, we didn't think about, recite, or commit ourselves to the oath of Hippocrates until graduation. It's really the opposite of what was intended. Historians have told us that the Hippocratic Oath was intended to be read now, at the start of medical training. It was a prerequisite to beginning medical education. It was a commitment to bring to medical school every day the fullest measure of your compassion, clarity, caring, and concentration. This is really the oath's resurrected purpose this morning. So what's the core of the Hippocratic legacy and the white coat tradition? Probably it's wise to turn to Aristotle, another classical Greek bright light, to explore that legacy. In Aristotle's tome Rhetoric, he argued there are 3 parts to effective explanation: ethos, logos, and pathos. Well, let's start with Aristotle's first dimension of explanation or exploration of a legacy, the ethos. That involves the profession's central set of shared values. The white coat ties each of us as individuals to the profession's collective best self. The white coat's ethos runs as whole cloth, from the robes of ancient shaman healers to the researchers in our Kimmel Cancer Center. Before Hippocratic change took hold, there was mischief corrupting medical practice in ancient Greece. Greek physicians were practicing without a compass, without a codified set of core values. It was practice without commitment. It was practice without ethos. Logos, the objective facts, the scientific method, logical reasoning, the science of medicine. Hippocratic tradition changed the processes of medical discovery, of medical reasoning, and of treatment. And medicine moved away from mysticism. Hippocratic treatments shifted remarkably from a preoccupation with amulets, curses, sacrificial offerings. We don't teach that anymore. It's okay. To a focus on natural forces, nutrition, the body's ability to heal itself. Medicine turned away from magic and tipped toward logos. And finally, the third dimension that the dean spoke so nicely about, and then Dr. Meiden, the pathos, the human dimension of medicine and medical training, emotions, empathy, compassion. Drawing from Socrates, Hippocratic teaching emphasized the mind-body connection. For as Socrates put it, healing a battered body always involves healing a suffering soul. Along the same lines, these lines of pathos, Hippocratic teaching really focused down on a healing relationship, a powerful relationship that the school believed allowed the best possible clinical outcomes, a trusting human engagement in which the patient's well-being was the sole focus. Listen a little later when we recite the Hippocratic Oath for the caring, the confidentiality, the focus on the patient's well-being, and for a description of a special relationship when we recite the Hippocratic Oath. Listen for the pathos. Now, not one of these members of the class of 2018 is under any moral obligation to be here. We judged each of you as capable of doing this, and we're convinced you will succeed, but you were under no moral obligation to enroll. And you're still not under any moral obligation. Not yet. But listen, when you became capable of creating children, you were under no moral obligation to do so. Praise the Lord. Someone else will step up and make the babies. You don't have to do it. But check the newborn nursery. Someone else will step up, or take my word for it. When you discover you're good on ladders, you don't have to join Engine Company 32. Praise the Lord, someone else will step up and put out the fires. Just check the CNN coverage from the 2014 California wildfires. People step up and do it. When you realized you aced organic chemistry, you didn't have to say, I got to apply to medical school. Praise the Lord, someone else would step up and do the healing. We know that because there were 40-some applicants for every one of this class's spots. 40-some. So you didn't have to do this. However, if you choose to be a parent, a firefighter, or a physician, you create a personal moral obligation. And you commit yourselves to the people who will rightfully look to you in need and in jeopardy. And that is what you guys are doing today. And by doing that, let me assure you, to paraphrase Emily Dickinson, your lives will not be in vain. For as she wrote, if you can stop one heart from breaking, you shall not live in vain. If you can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, you shall not live in vain. So, you are stepping up, and there will be rewards. I want to say to each member of the class, I appreciate the opportunity to spend time with you earlier this week, and particularly to be with you this morning, as you step up and allow us to recommit ourselves at the same time to the Hippocratic Oath and all that it carries with it. I am thankful that each of you has chosen of your own accord to be here today. I look forward to the oath in just a little bit, and I look forward to the ethos, the logos, and the pathos of living medicine over the next 4 years with each of you. Welcome.